Hello, my beautiful friends. I am so excited to talk to you today about astrology and your voice and the sound of astrology in your voice, the sound of your astrology in your voice. Okay, so let's take it one step at a time. So, our voice is the expressor for our whole soul. It holds the space of who we are and it expresses who we are through sound. So, just like the throat chakra is the expressor for all of the chakras. It expresses for the root. It expresses for the solar plexus and for the sacral and for the heart. It expresses for itself and for the third eye, and it expresses for the crown as well. A lot of times people think I'm having a hard time expressing myself, so it must be in the throat chakra. But oftentimes it is not in the throat chakra. It is actually in one of the other chakras and it's expressing what's going on. It's similar to stubbing your toe or getting hurt and then being expected to communicate like right after that. The sound of pain is going to come out in your voice. Or if you're really sad, the sound of that is going to come out through your voice. If you've been thinking negative thoughts, the sound of that will come out your voice. And I am not talking about the words that you use. I am talking about the frequency and the energy of which your voice is communicating, right? So you have a couple of different things about your voice. You have the words that you're using, and then you also have the energy. And I think a lot of times people attribute the intonation and the clarity at which someone is speaking to the energy of someone's voice. And those are very, very separate things. And that is exactly what I identify in sessions when I do sessions with people. And they speak, they sing for me. I can hear the underlying issues that are going on with someone's voice that are kind of getting hung up in there. So we have that. Our voice is a representation of who we are. And a lot of times, what happens is we have who we are, and then we go to express it, and there's stuff in between us and the expression that kind of catches in the middle. And so we're not able to actually express the way that we are wanting to. We're not able to express in alignment with who we are. And so it kind of gets a little caught up in all of that, which is what I do in the sessions when I work with people. So let's talk about astrology. So the planets have been assigned values, they've been assigned attributes, and the best way and that is the best way that we have to express or to describe the frequency at which the planets are vibrating at. And I know, like a lot of times, people put frequency, and when we talk about frequency, we're like a higher frequency and a lower frequency. A higher vibration, a lower vibration. And I don't want to talk about frequency today and with astrology. Like all of the videos that I will make about astrology and the sound of astrology will not be based on vibration being like linear or like better than or less than. We're just taking it based on this is what it sounds like. So everything has a vibration. I've seen these really cool videos where you can like hook up a machine, or people will hook up a machine or a little like clamp to different plants, and they will hear different sounds because everything has a vibration, everything has a frequency. And then when you which is sound, frequency is sound, right? So when you attach something to that, you can hear the frequency, or you can hear the sound at which that frequency is going. Does that mean that an oak tree is better than a maple tree because the frequency is different? No, it just means that that frequency is what made up that specific tree. So it is vibrating at that frequency to create what it is. And so that's what I want to talk about with astrology and with the sound of our voices in astrology. So we have each one of the planets, and I will go into more depth in do a video for each one of the planets and each sound for each one of the planets, because otherwise that would be a really long video. So each planet has a list of attributes that go with each planet, and these attributes are the best way that we have via language to describe the frequency at which this planet is vibrating at and the frequency at which we are vibrating at certain houses, in certain situations, at certain times in our lives, and all of those things. So last week, I spoke with a woman just over Facebook. I've heard her speak several times before, and her voice is very unforgettable. And as she spoke, the sound of her voice is really amplified. And by that, I mean the impact of her voice is very amplified. And the reason why that is because her Leo and her moon are in the exact, like they're almost conjunct, and they're in the house of communication. So as she is communicating, we are really hearing not just the mask, but we are also hearing the moon, which is the subconscious. And as I looked at the embodiment of the planet that she is communicating from, like her moon, so her subconscious is communicating from, the one that stood out was so big was the vibration of forgiveness. And it was really incredible, and very like bullseye. When I saw that, I was like, that is exactly what I'm hearing in her voice. I'm hearing forgiveness. So regardless of what she's communicating, like, because our words matter, right? The words that we use make a big difference, but the way we say them has an even bigger impact. Like I could say, you look really great today. Or I could say, you look really great today. What is going to, like that totally changes the meaning of what we are saying, right? And it's similar to the energy that our voice holds in the planet, especially, and I'm speaking specifically from the planet or from the moon, because the moon is our subconscious, the moon is our feelings, and that's naturally what's naturally going to come out of our voice. So I can look at your chart and see what is going on, like how you're communicating in certain ways. It's not just in the house of communication. It's going to be you have a certain voice in all of these places. But my goal as I work with people is to create alignment and succinctness with their voice. So regardless of who they're talking to, when they're talking, whether they're teaching, whether they're speaking in front of a crowd, whether they're talking to a loved one, their voice is the same. Like the sound of their voice is the same, and the energy of their voice is the same. And that is coming from the moon on the chart. Where your moon placement is, what house it's in, and the planet that it is in. So those things will really make a difference to the sound of your voice. And obviously, you can have blocks that will block the true sound of your voice, and so that you're not connected to that sound. But these things will make a really, really big difference. Okay, I want to just check in and see if there's anything else that I want to share really quickly in this video, because I want to go into more detail the sound of each one of the planets. And I do want to say too that as I experimented with this and talked to people that I have heard, like I hand selected some people to speak with, and it was fabulous because a lot of them had understood astrology really well. As I selected them to speak with them, there were certain things in each planet that their moon was in that their voice really embodied. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So, this woman that I talked to, whose voice really holds the vibration of forgiveness. So when forgiveness is an amazing thing, absolutely amazing, and creates so much healing. So when we forgive ourselves, we experience healing in our soul. Like I'm talking heart, mind, body, spirit. Forgiveness creates that healing. So when she speaks to people, like people are drawn to her voice. And she has said that people have made comments about her voice before, her speaking voice and her singing voice. So when she speaks, regardless of what it is, when she is speaking like straight from her moon space, as straight from who she is with no blocks in between, people experience forgiveness. It doesn't matter if they recognize, because most people are not going to recognize that that is what they are experiencing in the voice. But people are going to experience that forgiveness. And that is one of the reasons why they love hearing her, why they love talking to her, because subconsciously they are experiencing forgiveness, which is so incredible. And this is another reason why I want to help people really tap into the trueness of their voice, into the moon of their voice. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when we are in that space, it amplifies all of the words that we are using. And then the people that we are speaking to, they not only hear it, but they feel it and they get it and they experience that change within their entire soul. I have seen this happen in groups as I have come into a group. My moon is in Leo, which is very expressive and I'd say very dynamic. So it really heightens whatever it is that I am expressing about. So I've watched as I have come into groups before, like online groups. I'm not even talking about in-person groups. As I step in and start speaking to the group, I have seen the level of the vibration of expression heighten in the group on whatever it is that I'm speaking about. And that's because my voice is holding the space, and not just even holding the space, but it's also expressing the frequency of expression, which is really so fun and so cool to watch people literally react to that self-expression, and then their emotions become heightened and they can more clearly express as well. So with that woman with forgiveness, she is going to experience people stepping into that forgiveness for themselves, like really coming to a place of acceptance through the path of forgiveness. Okay. Our voices are so incredible and they hold so much power to impact not only ourselves, but also the people that we speak with. I love it. I love the sound of people's voices. I love the sound of, and the impact that your voice can have on the world. And I'm saying on your world personally, your world in your relationships, the world of your relationships, in the world of like your family as a collective, and your world as in like who you are working with and who you're speaking with, regardless of if that's the cashier at the store or your clients or whoever that is. Okay. I'm going to leave the video here and I will be back with more videos about the sound of each specific planet. So make sure that you subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification so that you get notified when I share the videos about the sound of each planet. Okay? I love you. Have a great day. Bye.